Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Hart DFS. For those of you that are new, welcome. My name's Hart. I make daily NBA prize pick videos as well as daily NBA slate breakdowns on DraftKings. Today we have another NBA slate breakdown on DraftKings, so if you could hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, would greatly appreciate your guys' support. 25 likes on this video would be huge, so thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and let's get into this breakdown. But before we do, just want to say follow me on Twitter, Hart DFS. Put my core plays for the DFS, talk DFS, put up prize pick plays, all that good stuff. So make sure to follow me there, Hart DFS. And then a look back at my lineup from the Millie Maker for game one. I made three lineups: Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and Jordan Poole as my captains because I obviously wanted to get away from the optimal. Unfortunately, we missed cash by 11 points with the Al Horford captain. He did great, but Steph came out, scored a ton of points, so he was the most optimal captain. Tatum had kind of a bad game when it came to scoring the ball, but he had 13 assists. Steph obviously did great. Jaylen Brown was good once again, and then Poole is disappointing, and Gary Payton just didn't play. The winning lineup in the Millie Maker was Steph, Brown, Smart, Horford, White, and Otto. It won $36,000, so it was split by I think like 20 people, maybe a little bit more. In my lineup building video, I did have a lineup that had Steph, Brown, Marcus Smart, Horford, 4 out of the 6 in the winning lineup. I had that in my lineup building video with the Steph Curry lineup. I think it would have gotten you, I think I said it was about 650 to 700 place. In this big tournament, the Millie Maker, it would have won you like $70. I think I had Klay Thompson and Iguodala as the two. So Klay had 23. It was 5 below White, and then Iguodala had 11, was 11 below Porter Jr. So, pretty close. I don't know if it would have been one that would have taken it all down by itself, but nice to see that we built one that had some success. So maybe if you guys played it, you would have won a little bit of money. But yeah, that's what I went with in the last game. And now let's go into the breakdown. So we got Steph at the top 10-6. We pretty much know what we're getting from Steph. He came out very, very hot from three at the start of the first game. I think it was like 6 of 7, 6 of 8 from three in that first quarter of the first game. Looked like the Warriors, had it handled pretty easily until the fourth quarter, where the Celtics kind of kept it close the whole game. Fourth quarter, the Warriors got up, I think it was 12 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then they couldn't hit a shot in the fourth. Celtics hit every three, and the Warriors lost. They're favored by, I think, 3.5 today at home once again. So Vegas is expecting the Warriors to win. We'll see. Should be another close game. The Warriors really need other people to step up. I know, where is he? Wiggins, I think he scored 25, 3 blocks and a steal. They just really need a secondary scorer. Steph can't do it all, as we saw last game. They really, really struggled to score the ball in the fourth quarter. Klay just doesn't look like normal Klay. Jordan Poole is just brutal. He's been really, really bad. Like, he can't handle being guarded by all these big guys. Even Horford was locking him up. Poole looks terrible, terrible. But for the breakdown, as I always say, Steph and Tatum are going to be the optimal plays. Really like going back to Tatum today. I think he's going to be my favorite captain play. We saw him 3 of 17, still was able to get you 40 fantasy points. Now, 13 assists is a little bit of an outlier for Tatum. No, he is good at getting assists, but since he wasn't able to hit a shot, just kept passing the ball more. Celtics were hitting everything, especially in that fourth quarter. So Tatum did well assist-wise, was still able to get you 40 fantasy points, but really expect a bounce-back game here. We said this 2 times before in the playoffs, where back in that Bucks series, he had a game where he had scored 10 points, went 4 of 19. The next game, he put up 55 fantasy points. Then he had one in the Miami series where, as you saw, 10 points, 21 fantasy points. Next game, 51.5. So really, really do expect Tatum to step it up here. 12 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds. It's a decent stat line, but you really expect Tatum to get more closer to his average of 27 to 28 points per game. So I really like Tatum in this bounce back spot as a captain for me. Jaylen Brown, now that he's kind of closer to Tatum in terms of salary, I think he's just more of a utility play. Don't really think he's got enough upside to be a captain. You know, it would get you a little bit different just because a lot of people just play him in the utility spot. Don't really play him as captain, but I think I do prefer Tatum over Brown. Marcus Smart, I think he'll lose some ownership. He wasn't too high owned in that last slate, especially a captain. I think he's only like 4%. He kind of had like an okay game. Lost on about 10 minutes of playing time because Derrick White came in. He was hitting every shot, so he got extended run. And Pritchard came in, and he was playing well, so he got extended run as well. So when Marcus Smart went out for his normal minutes, he kind of sat on the bench a little bit longer than expected. Only played 30 minutes. Did pretty well, as you can see. Almost 37 fantasy points in 30 minutes. So I like going back to Marcus Smart here at 8K. Same thing with Horford. Now, I don't expect him to go 6 of 8 from 3, 9 of 12 overall. But I do expect him to have kind of that double-double, kind of near triple-double-ish upside. Obviously, the assists are kind of capped. Once again, he got another 3, but he'll get the rebounds. He's usually going to get you some blocks and steals as well. Usually I can get you 26 points, but as I said, that's always a cherry on top. I usually kind of expect 10 to 20-ish from him. So, yeah, really like Al Horford. More of a kind of a utility play for me rather than captain. Now that he kind of had his big game, people might chase him, so he'll probably be a little bit higher owned as a captain, maybe closer to 10% or more. Klay Thompson going to go super under owned. Had just a bad game. He was hitting shots in the first quarter, so not normal Klay. Normal Klay has been brutal in the first half and then better in the second half, but he came out hitting his shots and then kind of went cold and silent the rest of the game. So I really expect Klay to have a bounce back spot in one of these games. It's hard because it seems like he's now that type of player where it's like one every 3 or 4 games where he'll step up, score a bunch of points. Otherwise, he's just, you know, an average player out there, and it's frustrating. I hope he gets back to normal Klay Thompson form, but I think he's going to be a great low-owned captain play if you want to throw him in there. Obviously, there's risk because he will go out there and have games like the last game, but he does have upside into the 40s, even 50 plus. If he's hitting his shots, he will get you, some peripheral stats as well. So I do like Klay a good amount at 7.4 as a contrarian play for today. Obviously, people are going to flock to Andrew Wiggins over Klay just because his minutes are a tad more secure. He's been way more aggressive. He's going to get you, some more rebounds, blocks, and steals compared to Klay. So Andrew Wiggins kind of looks like another decent play in the mid-range at 7.2. Draymond Green, price didn't move as well. He was horrible, 2 of 12. He got the rebounds, got the assists, got some steals, but he could not hit a shot. Missed 2 free throws at the end of the fourth. Just brutal. I don't mind him at 7K. Now, he kind of got a little bit more rebounds than he usually gets, but he looks like an okay play at 7K. I think him and Andrew Wiggins are going to be extremely high owned compared to Klay. So I think I just rather get to Klay because of the ownership and kind of take that risk. Kevon Looney kind of got bailed out with the 3 blocks. That's 6 points right there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been floating around 20. It's 6-8. I just don't think there's enough for him to get there. Only 4 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. It's kind of like the max he can do. Obviously, he could score a little bit more, but I just don't think this series really suits him well. He kind of had the best he could the best that he could perform in game 1. 25 minutes came down. I just don't think I'd get there at 6-8. I just don't think he matches up well in this series. Kind of had more of an outlier game last game in game 1. Robert Williams, would rather get to him. 24 minutes, 24.5 fantasy points. Obviously, just more of a utility play, not a captain play, but he does have upside at 6'4". Jordan Poole has upside. It's just he hasn't flashed it. He looks terrible. Like he does the same moves on the outside every time. But the thing with the Celtics, they can all switch off and guard him. Every single person, even Robert Williams can guard him. So Poole has upside, but it's just very hard to get to him at 6K just because he's just been bad. Like even his good games have been 35 fantasy points. That's not enough to put him in the captain spot. I just don't think there's enough upside as of right now to put Poole in the captain spot. I mean, you can, I'd say if you're playing multiple lineups, maybe throw him in one. You kind of expect that to lose, but it's just been hard to get to Poole. Really hasn't done it for me at all in these playoffs since Steph came back and Klay was back. So yeah, I just don't think I'd get to Poole. Derrick White, people are going to flock to him. 32 minutes, kind of had the best game of his, playoffs as of right now. 6 of 11, 5 of 8 from 3. It was really clutch in the fourth quarter for them. 21 points off the bench. Took minutes away from Marcus Smart. I don't think that's going to happen again today. I think his ownership's going to be extremely elevated. I don't mind getting to him at 5-4, but I just think people are going to flock to him because of that last game. Seeing him get it 32 minutes, that's kind of like his max, as I said. Going to be a guy who's going to get you 20 to 32. If he gets closer to 30, it's because he's hitting the shots, getting extended minutes, and that's what he did last game. I just don't think I'd get to him. Otto Porter Jr. going to be a very popular value play today. 24 minutes, kind of had a classic Otto game. As I said, he's going to get maxed out at 24 minutes. He's not going to play more than that just because he's very injury prone. Shot 4 or 5 from 3, which is kind of normal for him. Either he's going to go like 1 of 4 or he's going to make pretty much all his shots. He's kind of capped at 30 below fantasy points, but at 4,600, not bad to get to Otto Porter Jr. Grant Williams only played 16 minutes. Just didn't really look like normal Grant Williams. Kind of struggled to get any running or playing time. They kind of went small with Horford at the 5, Tatum, Brown, White, and Marcus Smart at times. So Grant Williams didn't really see the floor much. Do think you can take a shot on him. Usually would expect him to get at least 20 minutes. Not going to go out there and score a ton in that amount of time unless he's hitting a bunch of threes. But I can see a bounce back spot here for Grant Williams, 4,200 if you want to take a dart throw on him. Pritchard got 16 minutes, was hitting some shots, so he did get extended a little bit. I kind of expect more of that 10 to 15 range. Don't really expect any more than that. They did go small for a little bit, so maybe he'll get 15 minutes again today. I don't expect him to go 3 or 4 or get 6 rebounds and 2 assists, but looks. I don't think I'd get there for Pritchard. Kuminga did a play. Tice played 6 minutes. Gary Payton. Now, I missed the news in game 1 that they said Gary Payton probably wasn't going to be in the rotation. Now we saw the news that Steve Kerr said that he might be able to get some playing time in this game too. I'm not really sure when. Maybe if they throw Pritchard out there, they'll throw Gary Payton out there. So I think it's worth it taking a dart throw on him if you're playing multiple lineups. If you're only playing one, I just don't know if you have to do it. The minutes are obviously not secure. Steve Kerr said he could see playing time, so he could still get a DMP. Or maybe he plays like 20, 25 minutes. Who really knows with Steve Kerr? I'd rather take the stance that he doesn't play, close to 20 minutes. So don't think I'd get there. And then Iggy played 12 minutes, 11.5 fantasy points. Not bad for a guy who was 1,000. Now he's 1,400. Maybe we see a little bit more minutes from him, but I kind of expect the 12 to 20 range. So if you want to take a dart throw at him, you can at 1,400. But yeah, that's really it for me. I don't really think there's going to be anyone else down here. Yeah, no. So that's kind of it for me. I'm really loving Tatum as the captain. As I said, I think we can expect a huge bounce back game from him. Obviously, he's going to be very popular as a captain today. So you're going to have to get different in other spots if you want to take down the 250K to first. But really like Tatum. Who else do I really like? I think I'm going to get back to Clay. I know it's super risky. Probably going to expect, 20 fantasy points from him, but really hope he steps it up today's game. So I really like Tatum and Clay. And then I think my third favorite would be I think it's going to be it'll be Wiggins. So I think these are my 3 core plays for today. Maybe it changes depending on news if Robert Williams doesn't play or if Otto Porter Jr. doesn't play and Gary Payton maybe plays. So we'll have to keep an eye on the news. Robert Williams and Otto Porter Jr. do affect these lineups a good amount. So keep your eyes peeled on the news later today on Twitter. But as of right now, really like Tatum as a captain. Expect a huge bounce back game from him. Expect Klay Thompson to hopefully have a good game. And then Andrew Wiggins to kind of beat normal Andrew Wiggins, get you close to 35 fantasy points. So this is the route I'm going today. Hope you guys like the video. If you could leave a like and subscribe, would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later today for an NBA Prize Pick video. See you guys later. Peace.